Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the extra time show for Watford 2, Everton 3. Of course, I'm filling in for Jerry, and there's plenty to enjoy about Saturday's win. I've got Terry on the show to go through it all again with me. So without further ado, Terry, how much did you enjoy Saturday?
I enjoyed certain parts of it. There was a lot of the game I wasn't really enjoying it, but the result was brilliant. The manner in which we came back as well was fantastic. It was made up.
I think I said in my match reaction on Saturday, it's that kind of game, that kind of drama at the end, and it actually going in our favour. When's the last time we actually enjoyed something quite like that?
No, I know. Yeah, the thing is, I was saying this to my mate after the game. Every team has games where they don't play well, but some teams can get results out of that. As we couldn't for the longest time, though. So for literally a couple of years now, I think it was 36 games every time. Best part of a season's worth of games. Every time we went behind, that was it. We might as well have wrote the game off. So it was such a refreshing change to see a little bit of steel, a little bit of resilience to turn things around. With things going against them as well with the red card, and just brilliant, just absolutely brilliant. I don't think anyone expected it because they'd got so used to how things had been going, and yeah, the manner of the turnaround was very pleasing. It shows that there's been not just a change in like style under Ancelotti, but also in mentality and just what is football, mate. After conceding the goals against Newcastle like we did, to go and then score 3 stoppage time goals, 2 in the first half and 1 in the second half, it's just mad. It's absolutely mad. You couldn't have.
It's surreal, but I think it just shows the ups and downs. I mean, I found with Everton, it's been too many downs and not enough ups. And I mean, obviously we haven't won anything, but in the general sense of things, like there was more bad games than good games where the drama would be going against us, maybe more than what we had on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when we scored that double in the first half stoppage time, I just literally just laughed. I was like, how
have we got away with this?
Yeah, we were awful in the first half, and we were really good against Newcastle, but it's gone 2 opposite ways. It's just like it's just unpredictable football, isn't it? And then when the sending off happened, I was just like, right, just get out of Dodge with a point now, just shut up shop. But honestly, I don't think I'll have been alone in thinking probably not going to happen. I could see, like the tide turning. If it had been at Goodison, I would have been confident of getting something. But away from home, going off what we've been like so recently, I was like, nah, this is good. We're going to be lucky to get the point here if we,
I was actually quite confident we'd get the draw, but there's no way I thought we was going to win.
No, to be honest, when Walcott scored, I was still thinking, okay, just don't concede. We've been so traumatized by this club.
I did that myself once we scored. It was like, please hold on.
Yeah.
Like I was like screeching like a banshee when the ball was bobbling round in our box, and eventually I think Michael Keane just leathers it away and the final whistle went.
Yeah, honestly, I was. It was just so refreshing a feeling to have gone away from home, gone a goal down, and not to have lost. It'd been so long that since we've actually got any win away from home, never mind one where we've been up against it first. But credit to the players, they all came out. Walcott came out after the game and said they'd all been working on this, this togetherness, this team spirit, which, despite having some, quality players, that's clearly been absent for a while. The sort of, I don't know, the bonds between the players. And he said, oh no, it's come out in the Athletic as well this week that, the players themselves organise like a team bonding meal and stuff like that.
That's brilliant to hear.
Yeah, I was made up when I read that. I was like, that's what you need. That you can have the best players in the world. You need that, though. That's the foundation. And it's clearly been so devoid over the last couple of years, just because of the high turnover of players. I think it takes that.
I think that is a big factor in that.
Yeah, it takes a long time to build that up. And when you're changing players as often as we have, not to say I didn't want us to do it, but you do lose that. And now I think, even when we do make more, do more recruitment in the summer, I don't think it'll be wholesale changes. I think it'll be trim some of the dead wood and add a couple more. I don't think it'll be like 7 in, 7 out again. I think it'll be 3 in, and probably
And 7 out.
Yeah, and 7 out, 17 out, whatever.
Yeah, there will be a lot of outs, I think, this summer. And
yeah,
but like you say, I don't think there'll be many coming in. I think we'll be talking maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean
I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that Brand said that himself last summer. He said once this big recruitment drive last summer's done, he wants to just add little bits and pieces to improve as he goes. And the more the team are settled and the more they get used to each other, and the better team spirit and understanding they sort of cultivate, then the better the team will be. I was made up when we scored that goal, not just because we scored the goal, but when you saw all the players running up the line, I was like, yes, I'm all for all that. When you saw like Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin that running from the bench with their coats on, they'd been subbed off, and ran up to celebrate with them in front of the fans, and I was just like, that is what you need. That's what's been missing, and I was
That's exactly what's been missing. And I think what's really interesting is that we always remember the David Moyes teams as having this brilliant team spirit. And when you think about it, that's probably the reason why, because we couldn't afford to make new signings at the time, so we had no choice but to stick with the same team half the time.
Yeah.
And that's probably what we did. Have a very consistent squad over about 6 or 7 years that very rarely changed, and maybe that's why there ended up being that sort of togetherness that we associated with the Moyes era.
All the best teams have got that, and all the worst teams haven't. You can look at one extreme of sorry, but this Liverpool team, the Man City teams of the last couple of years, they're all got fabulous players, but they've all got that in spades, that togetherness. And then if you look at the other extreme, do you remember the old QPR teams where they brought in 11 players in one summer and they went down? They had quality all
like they brought in like Loic Remy, didn't they, and a few of the big names.
Yeah,
Rio Ferdinand came in after he left United, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it was a little bit earlier than that, but they basically brought in about 11 new players, and it was quality all over the pitch, individually on paper, but they had no togetherness, no team spirit, and they basically couldn't gel as a team. There was like a team of strangers, and we've over the last couple of summers done so much recycling of players that only now I think we're in a position to sort of change small amounts each summer and improve gradually. And we've hoped, or now we've done our wholesale changes, because we were meant to have done it under Welsh and Koeman. Obviously that was a disaster. Then we had to correct that and do it all over again. But now with a lot of the young players, hopefully we can build up from there. And this could be, I don't want to overstate the result, but this could be the first brick towards building that. Not because of the results, but the manner of the result, the resilience, the sort of togetherness.
That needs to be there if you're going to move forward.
Yeah, the fact that we not only were 2 goals down, but we went a man down with quite a bit of the game left. We were away from home at a team who've beat us a lot at their ground in recent years. But yeah, that's I
found out we hadn't actually won at Watford since 2007 until Saturday.
No, we had a good record against them at home at Goodison, but poor at home. But now we've played them this season 3 times and beat them 3 times. So with any luck, we won't be playing them again for a long time either.
I mean, there's been a lot about that sort of the mini rivalry, if you like. I mean, people scoff at it, but what is it people have got against Watford? Is it just the plastic snakes?
You know what? It was everything. There was they just took it so badly when we took Silver off them, and
then Richarlison as well.
Well, they were paid quite a lot for Richarlison, and frankly, we did them a favour by taking Silver. It's now come to pass, so they should they give us a guard of honour going on the pitch for taking Silver off them.
Well, obviously, we tried to pay them to take it. They shafted themselves by trying to price us out, and then we shafted ourselves by having to pay them off.
Yeah, they'd have to pick a new fake rival in the Championship, though, I think, so we'll be
seeing it. Then again, I was going to say they've got Luton, but it looks like Luton are going down to League One, so maybe not.
Well,
Yeah, but there has been that sort of rivalry. Of course, we've had Watford Graham, we've had plenty of characters popping up on Twitter in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And obviously there's the guy who got very upset over Yerry Mina throwing a few shapes and
The
it
funny
was
thing about him, he was moaning because Yerry Mina danced in front of their fans. That Pereira celebrated in front of the Everton fans first. It's like, what you want? Bet you loved it when he did it.
that's it.
Just all fans in it.
But that's it. It's fickle, isn't it? But also I think it's just the heat of the moment. People say things like that, but of course it is box office on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I think this weekend more than most we saw that. But back to the game anyway. What did you make of the performance? It wasn't the best, was it?
No, it wasn't. Frankly, the performance in the first half was dire. It was absolutely criminal that we went in at half time.
Not getting whacked.
Yeah, we're drawing, but it was similar to the way the full game went for Newcastle against us. Awful all game, completely not involved, and then 2 moments of madness in stoppage time, and they conceded 2 goals. Now, when we came out in the second half, we were much better, had much better control of the ball. We're pressing Watford back. Watford were struggling to create anything. Now, towards the time of the red card, just before that, it sort of evened out a little bit again. We weren't as commanding at that point. Our spell had passed, and I was worried going, I worry if that's our spell and we haven't scored in it. And then Watford's going to come back into it now because they're the home team. And then when Delph got sent off for what is frankly, you can say whether it's harsh or not, he's just brain dead.
Well, I said that on my last reaction. I said both of his bookings, the second one certainly was very soft, but he's an experienced player. He shouldn't be giving referees that decision to make, especially not when the home crowd's baying for blood.
He's been brought in to bring leadership and experience, and he doesn't bring.
He does the opposite.
Yeah, it's I would trust him probably one of the least in like high pressure situations and games, just because he's cost us goals in the previous games. He's cost us a goal at West Ham with the free kick, cost us a goal with the Newcastle game where he was they only had to keep hold of it and he just punts it 20 yards practically up in the air. Cost us a goal. The second goal for Watford. That's 3 games in a row. It's cost us a goal, and he's got sent off for a silly, brainless foul. He needs to settle his head down, Delph, because
I think Jordan Pickford's a bit like that as well. Do you not think he's just a bit too much of a loose cannon?
You know what? I'm not a big fan of Pickford at the minute, but I don't think Pickford's as bad as Delph for that.
No. Everyone talks about
Pickford does do it, but not as consistently as Delph does.
No, Delph's constantly drawing battle lines with himself more than anything else.
Yeah. He's to be honest though, he has come out and apologised since for it, and he's got away with it this time because the results been positive, whereas it wasn't with Newcastle. So we'll see, but he needs to cut that out because he's been brought in to be that level heads, that professional who can sort of rub off on the young players. We've got a lot of young players coming through. It's like I would trust Moise Keane, the youngest player on the pitch,
more than him,
and he's the most experienced, and it's just daft, isn't it? But yeah,
so I trust most of our youngest players more than most of our over 27s, if you like.
Yeah, just mad, really, isn't it? But to be honest, when he went off, I feared the worst. I thought, oh, this is going to be it now. We're gonna come under a bit of pressure, and Deeney's going to head one in or what have you. And we just weathered it. We just literally dug in, weathered it. They made a couple of chances, not majorly clear cut, and then we just got that breakaway. And what an assist by Moise Keane, by the way.
Fantastic, wasn't it? I mean, measured that perfectly.
Little no look dummy to Walcott. Yeah, I mean, brilliant. If with that fella kicking off over me and dancing, if Keane had scored the winner, did that woah dance he does or whoa whatever it's called, I think I'd have ended up in orbit. I wouldn't be available to do this video because I wouldn't have come back to Earth yet. But
I'd have been boss.
Yeah, I was just made up. The limbs in the end was fantastic. The Everton end, and then just saw out the last minutes of the match. But I was sitting on the edge of my seat watching it, going, "Oh no, come on, just get it out, just get this result." And
Yeah, well, I was like that. I was like absolutely terrified even after we'd scored what proved to be the winner. But the big question is, what happened to that lad with his trainees up in the air?
I don't know. These are just the legends of the White Plimsoll.
Yeah, just the one.
Just one leg in the air. It's just like, I love that. I love when you score those dramatic goals and just you get like the scenes like that. I've done that myself a lot of times at Goodison where you just end up like a row in front. You go, how did I even do this? Back when I was a bit lighter, like, but don't think I can do that now. Like Carlos said, if I run, I'd die. It's like I felt that. Like me, same Carlos, same.
He speaks for most fans, I think, when he says that. But
yeah, I think Schneiderlin's got that same thing.
Well, I was funny you say that because I was going to actually just mention Schneiderlin. I mean, he gets bashed a lot, but I thought he did brilliantly when he come on against Watford.
Yeah, he was okay. He's managed to move up the hate list the last couple of weeks. He's now, cemented his place above Sigurdsson and Delph now. So fair play to the lad. He's clawing his way.
It's something.
And to be honest, Walcott was about to go into that hate relegation zone below with Schneiderlin until he scored because he was having a terrible game till he scored. Let's have it right, but Schneiderlin's doing enough week on week now to claw his way out. I think he'll be out the hatred relegation zone for me soon.
Yeah, it's bad that we're having this kind of scrap within the team, like. But I mean, I just thought he came on and he done a really good job. I thought he sort of screened the back four well. And what I really liked, I think I said this in my reaction, when we went the goal up right at the end, he was dead calm on the ball, which is exactly what Tom Davis and Fabian Delph weren't against Newcastle. He held the ball, he got us a free kick rather than giving one away. He got the ball down to the corner flag for Moise Keane to run onto it. Like I thought, he dealt with the situation a lot better than the other two did against Newcastle.
The thing with Schneiderlin is his problem with him has never been his decision making, it's been his commitments. It's not that he picks the wrong pass or gives it away cheaply. It's that he doesn't track or he doesn't tackle hard or he doesn't run. It's like, he will never give the ball to someone to score, but he'll watch them run past them, and that's more infuriating because that's laziness rather than a mistake. But fair play to him. He did this last season, really, didn't he? I remember thinking, when the form turned round, with the Cardiff game and beyond, that Schneiderlin has a little purple patch of form, and he hopefully does it again. But that he looks like he's coming into a bit more stable form again.
Yeah, I think when he does play well, he can be really good for us in the middle of the park. But obviously, those days don't come around often enough. Same can be said for Sigurdsson.
Yeah.
I think if Sigurdsson plays well, that's a real boost for us. But he's been far too inconsistent, or possibly worse than that this season.
The way I look at it now, a few people have said this about the whole situation in general, but much like Rodgers with when he went into Leicester, I think Carlo's looking at the rest of the season as I don't want to say an extended pre-season, which others have said, because there's still a lot to play for, but he's using the players he's got to suss out what he's going to do going forward so he can start fresh in the summer.
I think it's more of an assessment than anything else.
But the point about Sigurdsson, is that I think the current team, the way it's set up, I think Sigurdsson, when he plays, is playing in the sort of blueprint role as a placeholder for where Gomez is going to play. And Gomez will be better at that role than Sigurdsson because he's better at being further back on the pitch. So this team we played yesterday, whenever it was, the day before yesterday, this team we played, instead of Delph and Sigurdsson, you might eventually see Gomez and Gabaman, if he's real, playing in that role. But that Sigurdsson is definitely playing the role that Gomez will probably play when he's fit, in that sort of playmaker, deep-lying playmaker, thread things together. And I think once we get Gomez in there and he gets back up to speed, the quality of the performances will go through the roof, because the weakness in the team at the minute, as we saw in the first half, is the centre of the park.
Yeah, absolutely. But the only downside to that is I think we'll see Father Christmas and Lord Lucan before we see Jean-Philippe Bannon.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I think the big question that's still sort of in my mind is, after this season and we move forward, is Ancelotti going to stick with 4-4-2?
I don't know. I've seen other people, because obviously I'm not going to pretend I watched Napoli when he was there. I've seen other people say he's played that at Napoli. So I think the squad does lend itself player on player. I think if you look at when Brands did the layout of the squad at the AGM,
Oh yeah,
he put it as like a blueprint of 4-4-2, which makes me think that that's
that's what
the way.
Carlo wants.
Yeah, the way they're going to start looking at it, which meant we were with too many bodies in central midfield, but the quality isn't really there because of the six of them. Only one is quality, and Gomez and Gabaman's a mystery, and the other four, I don't think I trust any of them in a 4-4-2 for a whole season. And
Yeah,
on the right, we've only got Walcott, so if you do set up like that, we're actually quite well covered apart from right wing, and there's a quality issue in centre midfield. Everywhere else, pretty well stacked.
I'd bring John Joe Kerry back for next season. Would you?
Yeah, well, that's probably a video for another day when it's the summer. But short answer is yes, but it's not okay, not necessarily at the expense of Sidibe. But I do like John Joe Kenny. I think there's another topic to add there. So let's not upset John by going over one of his topics for another week.
Well, there you go. We'll have to leave it at that then.
Yeah, we've skating too close to the godfather of the Toffee Blues there, Toffee Blues John, as Jerry calls him.
The Godfather. Well, we won't upset the Godfather. We'll leave it at that. So that's it for the extra time show. Watford 2, Everton 3. Plenty of positives, even a few negatives. Even still, it's a non-Everton show without a bit of fume. But there you have it. Be sure to give us a comment, a like, and a subscribe. And thanks for watching on the Toffee Blues.